Okay, one of the things I want to do before doing any serious listening is after I've disassembled the speakers and cleaned them and put them back together again, is I want to do a rub test to make sure that the woofers are the voice coils of the woofers are not rubbing, and that there's no noise coming from the woofers, and even up through basically sweep the frequencies even up through the treble to make sure there's no strange crackling or vibrations or anything that would indicate tweeter diaphragm is torn, or there's any kind of resonance in there that would be caused by something in the crossover, or the waveguide itself, or the compression driver, or the woofer. So what I'm going to do is hook basically an audio sine wave generator. Get a close up of it here. And I'm going to hook that up to the NAD amp, and I'm going to drive one channel at a time. I want to start with the left speaker and basically sweep the frequencies. In particular, look at the woofers and put some pretty high excursions on there and listen for any noises that shouldn't be there. So I want to pause here for a second and get that set up and take a listen, see what happens. Alright, so I have my sine wave generator set up to sweep between something on the order of 1 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz. And I'm going to start out with the high frequencies. Right now I'm on 18 kilohertz. I'm going to start backing down lower. And we're at 15 now. I can't hear anything. Well, I can begin to hear something at 15. At least I can sense it. There we are. We're at 12. I'm using the mics on the camcorder, so I'm not sure how good they are. I'm not using my good mics for this, but we're at 10 kilohertz. 7, 6. It's about 1 kilohertz right there. So far, no strange noises or vibrations. Alright, now I'm going to switch over to a lower range. And I'm going to start out at about 1 kilohertz and go down from there. 900, 800. 400 hertz. Okay, now we're at about 100 hertz. I'm going to crank up the volume a little bit. There's 50 hertz. 40. 42 as low as I can go on this setting, so far I've heard no vibrations, nothing strange going on, so I'm going to go down to the lowest level and sweep between 50 hertz and about 10 hertz. And I'm at 40 right now, 30. I'm at 20 hertz, and right about here I'm going to hit pause for a second and readjust the tripod to get a closer look at the woofer, and I'm going to really crank it up and make that thing move and listen for any rubbing. So far I haven't heard anything that's alarming, so far so good. Hit pause and I'm going to get a close up and crank that thing up and see if there's any rub. Alright, so I'm at now at 20 hertz. I'm going to go back up to about 30 hertz right there. And kind of crank up the volume to get some high excursions on the woofer. Not too high though, I don't want to damage it, but it's moving a good bit there. So I'm at 30 hertz, and the signal generator that I'm using is not definitely has some harmonics in it. It's not exactly a pure sine wave, so I don't hear any buzzing that's out of the ordinary. There is a sound that's a byproduct of the signal generator, because it's not exactly pure, but it's got nothing. It's not mechanical noise. I'm familiar with it because I use a signal generator to test a lot of speakers. But so far so good. So let's crank it down to a really low frequency. We are at 20 hertz right now. Thing is really moving. I don't want to make it move much more than that. I don't know what the maximum excursion is on these speakers, but we turn it down a little bit. Alright, we're moving pretty good. I'm down to 15 hertz, and I'm going to go to 10. Alright, there's 10 hertz. That thing is really moving, and it is silent. There is a little vent on the dust cap that definitely produces a little air out of there, but I don't hear anything, and it looks good. It sounds good. There's no rubbing. Turn up the level just a little bit. Okay, that's really moving there. I don't want to go much more than that because I don't know I don't want to damage anything, the suspension. But it looks good. And let me turn the level down a little bit and sweep the bass frequencies again. Okay, I'm now down to about 5 hertz. And look at that. No rub whatsoever. That's a good thing. Rubbing of the voice coils either indicative of damage to the suspension or that there's debris in the voice coil gap. Could be it could also be a partially shorted voice coil where the insulation has come off of the magnetic wire and it's rubbing. So there's nothing in there. That's good. Really good. So I'm going to repeat this test for the other speaker. I'm not going to show you that one, but hopefully it's the same. And then once I do that, I'll be ready for some listening tests. So looking good. So far so good, and I swept the whole frequency range, and there's no dropouts and nothing, no buzzing, no resonance, nothing out of the ordinary. So far so good. So I'll see you on the next video when I start doing my first of many listening tests from different positions. Try to get a feel for what these things sound like, and they are good. So see you on the next video.